We also had a meeting with the Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa, which was convened at a request by the traditional leaders belonging to Contralesa to meet with President Zuma to receive counsel and draw on his wisdom regarding critical challenges currently confronting the nation. Contralesa's delegation was led by its Deputy President Kgoshi Nyamalala Pilane and Secretary General His Royal Highness Zolani Mkiva. The meeting decried the rising political instability in South Africa, fragmentation of unity among progressive forces representing the poor and downtrodden masses of our country, the resurgence of ultra-right-wing tendencies, pervasive criminality and entrenched corruption within government and state institutions, as well as other serious social ills that are likely to undermine and erode the meaningful gains accrued since the dawn of democracy in 1994. Both organizations agreed that the liberation project is yet to be completed in South Africa, and further that the institution of traditional leadership has for the longest time been undermined and relegated to a spectator in the political governance domain. The meeting resolved to encourage all traditional leaders to take advantage of the 2026 local government elections to restore people-driven governance. On the international front, the Constitution of Umkhonto we vests responsibility for international relations and foreign policy engagements squarely with the president of the organization. In this regard, the president of Umkhonto we attended the inauguration of President Ngwema in Gabon and held bilateral meetings wherein the MK party reaffirmed its full support for the revolutionary governments of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. These nations remain the final frontier in the total and irreversible liberation of Africa from neo-colonial shackles. We are alarmed by the incoherence and indecision in South Africa's current foreign policy. Our country has tragically lost its geopolitical standing, humiliatingly reduced to a junior partner at Western tables, as evidenced by the disastrous spectacle at the White House and the economic sabotage of the 30% tariff hike imposed by the Trump administration, a punitive blow to our economy. In continuation of international engagements, the president recently visited the Kingdom of Morocco. This visit builds on discussions initiated in 2017 with His Majesty King Mohammed VI with the view of normalizing relations between South Africa and Morocco. Hence, we reaffirm our position that granting the people of the Sahara region a local governance within the sovereignty state of Morocco is a practical proposition to solve this 50-year-old conflict. This Moroccan autonomy proposal is beginning to be the most supported position by other governments in Africa, including the Sahel region countries, which President Zuma will be visiting before the end of the year. During the visit, the president toured the Tanga Mediterranean port, the Africa's best performing port, MK is negotiating internship opportunities for the unemployed South African maritime graduates. The President also held a meeting with the Chief Executive Officer and the executive of Renault Group, exploring collaboration for unemployed mechanical engineering graduates. Thirdly, we engaged with Mohammed VI Football Academy, aiming to establish partnerships with South African youth football academies to learn from their scientific world-class development model. Lastly, we met the Speaker of Parliament and all political parties represented in Morocco, studying their coalition government model, which is stable and effective, unlike the incoherent DA-ANC coalition of disorder in South Africa. A delegation led by our Deputy President and leader in Parliament, Dr. Mandla Slope, will soon return to Morocco to deepen this work and explore traditional leadership governance systems. We make it unequivocally clear our foreign policy must serve the national interest, not narrow party political agendas. And in this regard, DECO was fully aware of our visits, and our embassies offered appropriate diplomatic support. We would advise DECO to desist from acting as an ANC propaganda arm. The President will continue to raise South Africa's flag across the world as a revolutionary obligation to serve our people. On the issue of the recent Constitutional Court matter, we are of the view that the Constitutional Court has failed our people. It has chosen technical evasion over confronting the deep constitutional crisis facing our country. By deferring the matter to the High Court, it delays justice and accountability. This abdication leaves the executive unchecked and the people unprotected. The efforts of and by General Mukhonas and other brave whistleblowers have been ignored. Nevertheless, we remain undeterred. We have issued a formal letter to Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa demanding answers on why taxpayers fund two police ministers and an illegal commission of inquiry. He is required to respond to 15 critical questions by Friday, the 8th of August 2025, or face further legal and public action. We are also writing to the Chief Justice requesting an urgent release of reasons for the court's decision. We shall pursue all peaceful means to enforce accountability and uphold constitutional order. We now take this opportunity to clarify our position regarding the former Secretary General. The leadership of Umkhonto weSizwe has noted several statements and utterances by the former Secretary General, who was removed from the position recently. The leadership of Umkhonto weSizwe had considered these utterances and actions and arrived at a conclusion that the former Secretary General had not only publicly defined himself or themselves outside the ranks and ideological line of the MK party, but also seriously violated the trust placed on them as a member of the party. In this regard, the decision has been taken to summarily terminate the membership of the former Secretary General, and a formal letter of expulsion was transmitted to him on the 15th of July 2025. Umkhonto weSizwe will not entertain any further exchanges on this particular matter. Lastly, on the MK party's path to power, the Umkhonto weSizwe as a party is a vessel of the final phase of our liberation struggle. We are marching towards power, not just to govern, but to liberate. We are building brick by brick, word by word, village by village, institution by institution. South Africans have increasingly affirmed our stance on the GNU, a Trojan horse of recolonization disguised as unity, funded by white monopoly capital and implemented by a coalition of regressive forces. We say no more. MK stands as the last hope of the African child, the worker, the youth, the traditional healer, the church, and the forgotten majority. Our eyes are fixed on the 2026 and our hearts are on the people. With your support, we will rise, not as rulers, but as liberators. The spear of the nation has risen once more. Let those who have betrayed the revolution tremble, and let the oppressed rejoice. Thank you very much.